This is the D.I.Y Tool Shed podcast, hosted by the D.I.Y Guy, Tony Sandoval, the place where we make things happen and get things done. Here to help you build things, make things, do things. We are creators. We will be creative. You can't stop us. Hey, all right, we are back in Tool Shed. Welcome to the D.I.Y Tool Shed podcast. I am the D.I.Y Guy, Tony Sandoval. I'm here today to talk about tools. We're going to talk about tools. Actually, we're going to talk about tool reviews, and we're going to talk about tool overviews. Okay. A review, obviously, is how well it does. So I watch a lot of videos, do tool reviews on YouTube and different places. I read tool review articles. I am forever taking in tool reviews. I like a lot of them. I like most less. I'm kind of picky about them because there's information that I think people need to know about tools, certain tools, and I don't think that the reviewers are really giving that information to people. I did a tool review already on our YouTube, and I'm not happy with it. I said that before, and I'm still not happy with it because I fell into the same trap doing the same kind of thing. I may end up redoing that. I may not. I don't know. But here's the thing. Here's what I expect out of a tool review. I want to know 3 core things about it. Okay. I want to know, who is this tool for? Who is it marketed to? Who is it going to be best used by? Is this something that's going to be it's marketed and priced and targeted to the kind of craft hobby market? Is it targeted to the home user DIY market? Is it targeted to the job site market? Is this, for people who do this every day? And the big thing about those things is use and durability, quality of the product, really. Can it stand up to a certain amount of use and abuse? Now, a craft hobby person really doesn't need to put, in general now, and I'm thinking craft hobbies, smaller things that require tools that, they don't, they're not going to take a big beating. They're not going to take a lot of heavy, intensive use. A couple hours here, a couple hours there over a week or a month even. It's got to do a job well enough to hold up to meeting the expectations of a person who's going to just use it sporadically when they get time to do it, because that's their hobby. It's what they do in their spare time, their off time. And so their demand on the tool isn't going to be all that terrific. Usually now, some people have some really intensive hobbies and crafts that they work on, and so they're going to require, a more quality, durable tool. But generally, who's it targeted? Who's this marketed to? And usually the quality of the build and durability will fall in line with both price and, how well it's made. The DIY home user is going to probably put a tool through a bit more use. It's going to be a bit more intensive. It's going to be longer periods of time that it has to stand up and be used. And it's got to take a little bit of, a drop, a knockover. It can't just fall apart, if you set it down too hard. So, it's not used all the time, but when it does get used, it gets pretty good use. Okay. These are your weekend warriors are building a shed over the weekend, fixing a car up and, building a craft specialty trailer or something like that. I mean, they're intensive use for long. Generally, they might work 10 or 12 hours over the weekend, constantly using it. But then for the rest of the week, for the most part, it's put away, or so it's not sporadic, but it's not all day, every day. And then, of course, there's targeting, marketing, and quality build for the job site. I mean, this is a tool that's got to stand up to being used all day, every day. Apprentices, clumsy guys, accidents, it's going to get knocked over, it's going to get dropped, it has to be able to be picked back up and put right back to work. And usually, again, price and marketing will go with that. Who's this intended for? How much abuse can it take? I want to know these things about a tool, because who's it intended for? What area is it intended for? So that right off the bat I can know, oh, okay, this is going to meet my needs, this is not going to meet my needs, just in quality alone in general. There's another area that's very similar, and yet at the same time, it's the person. You got your entry-level person, somebody who's not very familiar with the tool, someone who, and an entry-level person doesn't mean the quality of the tool is bad necessarily or lower. It's their experience and how they're going to use it more so than anything. So you can have somebody who's using it on a job site who's an apprentice worker. Somebody who, they need a durable tool to hold them up until at least they can make enough money to buy that high dollar, quality tool that they need to, but they're just getting started. So there's that entry level, and you can have entry level tools be used in the pro level thing, arena. You have your jack of all trades tools. This is the person who knows their way around a tool generally, and they're not, they're pretty savvy about its use. They're in that middle DIY home user category most of the time. Or they do a lot of odd jobs. So it's a guy maybe at the pro level, or in the job site, uses tools all day, every day, but not the same tool, because he's a handyman per se, or she is a handy person, and so it's the use and experience of the person using the tool. What can they expect of that tool? And then, of course, you got the pro level. Pro level knows what they're doing, and they're going to tweak and use that thing in ways that, are pretty common and very intense, and they expect that thing to perform to a certain spec, and it better do it because they paid the money for it, and that's their use level. That's how they're going to use it. Okay, so who's it targeted to? Who's it going to be good or good enough for? The apprentice, you can take a really high-end DIY tool that's lower in cost price point than, say, your upper high-end, marketed pro level tools, job site level tools, but it'll get them through, the first 6 months to a year until they can save up to buy the more expensive high dollar tool. So it'd be entry level for that person because of how they're going to use that tool, not so much what the tool was intended to be used. And so, but that's an important thing to know. And the people who are in those positions, they want to know, hey, can I use this I want to buy a tool, but I can't afford, this one, because that's the super high dollar one and I ain't got the scratch for it yet. But can I buy this and it'll hold me until I can afford it? That person needs to know that because of his particular use case, his particular usage in a way, and how often in the environment they're going to use it in. And that's something that's important to know. And then, of course, I have the rating, quality. I mean, can it do what it's advertised or needs to do? How well can it do that? And, for me, I have a system I call the 5 Bs because I'm a beekeeper and I like bees. So there's 5 Bs, 5 stars, 5 whatevers. I got 5 Bs because bees are busy. Busy bees. Busy bees know what they need. Busy bees know all about it. So the 5 B system for me is starts at 5, which is the best. Awesome. And 5Bs means it exceeds all expectations. I have no regrets for buying this tool. There's nothing I can really complain about on it. That's a 5Bs tool. You know how rare 5Bs are on a tool? It's very rare. They happen, but they're rare. Because to me, that's dang near a perfect tool. I don't believe there's anything that's really that close to perfect out there. So you'd expect to get a tool that's going to get rated 5Bs from me, you're going to be holding your breath a long time. But then you get to 4Bs. 4Bs means, hey, this thing meets all expectations. Doesn't exceed them necessarily, but it pretty much meets all my expectations. And I have no real major gripes about it. I mean, I might not like the color. I might not like the way, something textural. I don't know, something that's not really that big of a deal. I might have, small gripe, but no real regrets. And so that'd be a 4Bs tool, and you'll see quite a few of those. And then you got 3Bs. 3Bs meets most expectations, and there's, it might have a gripe or two, a regret or two about it, but I think that's the average. That's most things in life, and most tools made are going to have meets most expectations pretty well, and there's, not that much to complain about, not that much you regret about having it. So that's 3Bs. 2Bs, not really meeting many expectations. And yeah, I've got quite a few things I could complain about this tool. It's just it's and so that would be a 2Bs tool. I think we all have tools like that. We all have gotten there. And then of course 1B just ain't getting it done. 1B is just why. Why did I put my money on this thing? That's there's your primary regret. Why on earth did I waste my money here? Because there's so much wrong with this, so many, regrets about this, that it all boils down to one: why did I waste my money? It doesn't hardly meet any real expectations that it should meet, 1B tool, we've all gotten bitten by 1B tools. We've gotten stung by 1B tools, and they're out there. There are a lot of those out there. But so there you go. That's what you're going to see coming from me anyway. And that's what I look for. And maybe not the Bs, but I want to know, does it meet needs? Does it exceed needs? Expectations? Does it do above and beyond? Does it do just what I think it should do? How I think it should do it, or how it just generally should, not just how I think, but just generally how it should be. And then do I have any real regrets about it? If there are regrets, are they real regrets? That kind of a thing. And so, we're gonna look into that. That's a rating system. So then, we have those 3 categories. We have, what category does it really fit in? Craft hobby, home DIY, or job site. And is it going to be an entry-level tool? Is it going to be a general use tool? Is it going to be, a high-end tool? This is something dependable and high quality built. And that's what it's made and marketed for. And that's, it's going to stand up to those kind of things in that use case. So there's my review system. And I'm going to start doing reviews in the future using those 3 categories. Okay. So that's that. Now I'm going to do things, though, a little different. I'm going to integrate and use 3 different mediums. I'm going to use written articles, I'm going to use videos, and I'm going to use this podcast to do a review. It's going to take all 3 components because there are aspects of all 3 that I think are important and are easier to take in. For example, features. Everybody, when it comes to features are very list oriented. It should have this, it's got this, and you list these things out. And that's easier to see and read. We're going to say, okay, here's the expectations. The expectation is this, and again, we're doing a countdown, we're doing a list. Lists are really easier, better seen, You can remember them better. You can kind of take your time and go back over them. Oh yeah, there. Okay, yeah, this and that. So we list our expectations and we write that down. And we're going to put, the features. List the features of a tool, and does it meet those? Does it have those features that we think it should have? Did it have more? What is it? You know what I'm saying? These are things we want to go back and look at sometimes. So we're going to do that part of it, the feature view, on a written format, and that'll be at our blog site. And then we're going to do a performance review on video. You're going to want to see how well it actually does when we put it into action. Does it actually do it? Do we have to use that much force, that much energy to do this? How much how hard do I have to push it, or does it do it itself? I mean, what's it doing? We don't want to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, hey, yeah, I did this great, but you're going to want, yeah, but I've had one of those before, and I really, didn't have to push it. And then I went and got this one, and man, gosh, I was doing more of the work than the tool was. And there's a big part, because tools are used. We use tools so the tool can do the work. That's the whole reason we have tools. We invent tools so the tool can do the work, and we're not doing as much of that work. That way, we're not putting that much pressure or whatever on our wrist or arm or whatever, however we're using that. So remember, tools are designed for that, and that's going to be a component of how performance-wise is the tool doing its job. And you want to see that. That's something you got to visualize. So we'll do that on the videos, performance side of it. And then we're going to sum it all up. We're going to do it all. We're going to talk about it. And we're going to get into opinions, and we're going to get into, oh yeah, we're going to, the discussion part. We're going to let you get in here, get that app installed, install the Podbean app, call in on this live recordings. Because when we do the Podbean, when we do them here on Podbean, we're going to do them live. And there'll be a section where I want to say, okay, do you have one of these? If you have one of these tools, call in. What's your experience using it? Do you like it? Do you find it to be a similar experience? What is your thing? Do you have a question? Hey, Tone, I read the article. I saw the video. I'm still not sure about this. I can answer that, hopefully. So I want your participation in these reviews. I will give you my summary, my here's how it all shook out from my point of view and the way I used it. But I want your input there too. Ask questions. Give your side of it. What do you think about it? The more people we can get to do that, the more valuable this whole thing is going to be for everybody. So again, it's not just going to be me sitting here. I would love to have your input. But we got to get you to download that Podbean app. Install it. Use it. Listen live, my friends. Listen live. Okay, so there's reviews, tool and product reviews. There are overviews. I've been doing some overviews because I've had questions in the MeWe just regular group. It's just nobody. It's not the page like we have the page that gives the news and info about the podcast and the project, but it's just a chat group. It's just everybody pitching in, talking about the projects they're working on. And I've had actually people DM me, direct message me, or email me, or even ask right there in the group, and just, hey, what is this tool? What is that all about? I just released one article on doing an overview on a compact circular saw. What is a compact circular saw? So many times people will do reviews on these things and they don't give you any, where do you use this? And a lot of times on the case of the compact circular saw, they come up with, hey, this is designated toward the home DIY user. This can be used in these kind of spaces, and it's great for small, tight spaces. It's great for ergonomics, and because they're light and compact, it won't hurt your hand or arm or wrist. Okay, you're right, it does, but that's pretty obvious. I could look at that and figure that stuff out. You're not telling me anything that I couldn't figure out on my own there. How am I going to use this tool? Is this pointless? Do I need a compact circular saw? And if you can read the article, I go into more detail, but I'm going to tell you right now, I love compact circular saws, and there are specific reasons, and I use them not just for DIY stuff, just, hey, I use them when I do property maintenance. Pardon me, English apparently is my 19th language today. But you're fixing things. They are great for on the spot custom fitting. Oh, I need a 6-inch piece of this because I had to cut out that piece to fix this part. Now all I need is a 6-inch piece. Bang! I got this compact circular saw. It's a quick zoop cut, put it down. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It's right there in my toolbox, right next to me. It's so handy. I find it handy because I use it on job sites, in the production world, in the job world, not as a hobbyist DIY, craft home thing. I do use them there, but I use them on the job site, and I use them just like I use my drill. I use it for quick, on the spot, at hand, fix it, get this part done now, quick and easy. It's so much better than trying to keep a big full-size circular saw right by your side all the time. So much easier, so much handier, so much lighter, so much more easy to handle. I mean, my gosh, a circular saw is nothing if it's not bulky and unwieldy. But these things are just so nice. So yes, they're worth the money if you're in those environments. If you're in the situation where you're having to cut to fit, it'll cut pipe. I mean, they got special blades, man. Don't use the cheap little blades they send with you, by the way. Them things ain't no good. But you get the specialty blades, cut plastic, PVC, cut metal, because you can use these to cut your small service line pipes. You're doing a little bit of plumbing, got to cut a piece of pipe out, got to cut some PVC out. You use it to cut some, trim around a window that you're making window trim, or you're doing a frame, you're doing whatever, thin material, 1 inch or less. And I mean, zip, bang, so easy to use. Right there. I love these things. I love compact saws, circular saws. But to read and watch the videos other people put on there, you would never know you could use these tools for those purposes. And I get the feeling that a lot of people want to know, hey, I've seen this in the stores. I saw it on the internet. I got a friend that's got one, but what are you really going to use one for? Is this something that I really need to add to my toolbox? What is this tool? So I'm going to be doing more tool overviews coming forward because people want to know, what is this tool? How can I use it? How normally would it be used? Is it used? Is this something pros use? Is it just for a toy for, people working on crafts and hobbies? Is it a DIY thing? Where does it fit in? Can it fit in any of them? Can it fit into all of them? That's what an overview is going to be for. So that's where you're going to have that. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm never, ever, 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 never doing an unboxing. Friends don't let friends do unboxings. Unboxings are nothing, in my personal opinion, are nothing but bragging. Hey, look what I got. Ooh, isn't this fine and fancy now? I got one of these. You got one of these? It's show off. Because really, for the most part, unless they're combining it with an active performance review of getting it done according to a set of standards. Now there's usually, hey, look here, I can cut a piece of plastic with it. Isn't that neat? Oh, look, I can drill a hole here. And one or two little things. Oh, wow, look at that. That's nice and smooth. That's not a review. I'm sorry, that's not a review. That's opening a box and playing with it. And that's not helping anybody. All that is bragging and showboating and giving somebody a basic little commercial that here's another person that's online showing off they paid money for one of ours, or maybe they send it to them for free because they're getting free, whatever, or they're getting, a lot of viewers to watch them open a box and play with something for a little bit. I don't know. Friends don't let friends unbox. Kill the unboxing movement. It's stupid. You'll never see me do unboxings because I've got better things to do with my time, better ways to use tools and products than to sit there and show them off and play with them while you watch. Ain't happening. So there you got for that. So I will do product tool reviews. I will do product tool overviews. I will never do an unboxing. Okay. If you ever see me do an unboxing, check for the aliens, the pod people, whatever, because it ain't me in my right mind. Telling you that right now. So here we are. We've taken it all the way through another episode on the spot. Look at that. It just is a beautiful thing. And you, my friends, keep being creative, keep building, making, doing, keep making things happen, keep getting things done. I believe in you. I'm here to help you. I got your back. This is the DIY guy, Tony Sandoval, on the DIY Tool Shed podcast. You all have a fantastic day.